This video is to show you how to use the West Point Bridge Designer 2007 version. We're going to go through and show you how to set up your first bridge. It's a Pratt arch bridge. So when you load up your Bridge Designer program, you're going to have this screen show up. You'll want to make sure you're creating a new bridge design. So make sure this is selected here and then click OK. We're going to go through several different screens in order to set up your bridge. Some of these screens you're not going to need to set up anything or change anything. So we're just going to go click Next here, and we're going to go to the third screen. So on this screen we're going to need to make sure we have your deck elevation to 24 meters. And your deck is simply where your road's going to go, how high off the water your road is. We want to make sure it's set to 24 meters. We're going to make this into an arch bridge, so we need to have arch abutments or arch supports here on the sides of the bridge, and the height of the arch needs to be set to 8 meters. If you do not set up your bridge exactly like you're being shown, then the prices you're given may not work with your bridge. So we want to make sure that you set up your bridge exactly like you're being shown. We'll click the next button. We'll click the next button again. And on screen 5, you're going to need to make sure you have the continuous arch Pratt set for your template. And the template's just going to be something you follow to make your bridge. We'll click Next. For Design By, you'll type in your last names, whatever your partner's name and your name, or just your name if you're working by yourself. You want to put that here. In Project ID, this is your first bridge, so we want to just put 1 so that we know this is your first bridge. Once you're done, click Next and then Finish. And what you're going to have on the screen here is your template that you'll use. This is your design. So nothing's in place yet. You can't test the bridge. You can't do anything with it yet. All you can do is make the parts. Over here on the side of the screen, you have some tools that you're going to be using. You have a joint tool. That's the circular tool looking thing here. That's to put in the joints where the pieces are going to come together in your bridge. You're going to have a tool that's the member tool that looks like kind of like a barbell. That is the actual pieces that make up your bridge. You have the selection tool if you need to select a member in your bridge, you can use that. Or if you need to erase a piece or a joint, you have the eraser tool. So we're going to put in the joints first. So think of this sort of like connect the dots. We're going to put in the joints along the bottom of the bridge. These here are already in place, so we don't need to mess with these. And that's for any design. Any of these along the roadway are already in place. And these that are along these abutments, these supports, are in place as well. So all we got to do is put these that are in the middle along the bottom on this design. We're going to put those in, and you want to make sure they're right on where it's showing you, or else your bridge may not work quite as well. And now we're going to connect the dots. We're going to go in, we're just going to connect all of them, and we want to connect every joint with a short member. We don't want to go all the way across like this, like along the top, and make one big long one, because that's not going to work too well. Your bridge will not work. So I'm going to erase that one. We're going to make sure we connect every dot with a short, small member. We're going to go through and we make sure we get every single one. If we forget one, it may tell us that it can't test the bridge. Any number of things. Okay, so once we have our bridge made, we're going to want to test the bridge. Up here at the top of the screen there are 2 buttons. There's a drawing board button, this one right here. That's what we're in right now to design the bridge. The next button up here is the test button, and that one is the one we're going to use to test your bridge. And what's going to happen here is it's going to show a truck driving across, and it's going to show your bridge it might move a little bit, and I'm going to pause it, and it's going to have some different colors. And the colors, you may notice when the truck does drive across, the colors may get lighter and may get darker. What's happening is, as the truck drives across the bridge, forces are acting on the bridge, and the weight of that truck is going to make the bridge bend and twist and do different things. In real life we don't see it happening, but in this program it's showing us so we could see what's going on. Now what we're going to be looking for is pieces that are real light color. Like this blue piece right here is kind of light. The red pieces here are light color. Those are the ones that we want to make smaller because they're too big. They cost too much. So they can go smaller. So any light color piece are the ones that we want to make smaller. So we want to go into your drawing board and we want to fix those. Now before we do that, if something happens where your bridge doesn't work and you test it, and let's make it not work, so that if it does happen on your first try, something doesn't go right, I'm going to make these pieces real small. So if something happens where your bridge fails like this because some pieces broke, see this one went really dark, this one's really dark, that means those pieces are failing, they're falling apart, they're breaking. We'll want to fix those first. So here on our drawing board, we're going to need to pick these pieces here, these ones that are colored. Doesn't matter if they're red or they're blue. We're going to pick those two, and we're going to hold the shift key down, or I'm sorry, the control key down, and we're going to pick those two pieces, and we're going to make those bigger. So if any piece breaks, it needs to be bigger. And then we can test it again, make sure it works. Okay, so now we can go in and we can make these pieces smaller. So you want to make sure your bridge works first. Now since all those pieces all were light color, I can pick all of them. So you can use the mouse and pick all of them, or you can go up here and click all, and it'll select all of them. So basically at the beginning you can do this and pick all of them. Otherwise you want to do one by one later. Now we can change the size of these pieces right here. This increase member size and decrease member size buttons at the top. So I'm going to make the pieces smaller. And if you notice right here, the price is going to start going down because the pieces are smaller, they cost less money, so that means it's going to be cheaper to make the bridge. So I'm going to make the pieces smaller, and right now we're at 204,000. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but we'll try it. If it falls apart, which it did, we'll have to go back to the drawing board. And now I'm going to pick these pieces that broke, and we'll fix those and make those a little bit bigger. I'm going to make them a couple sizes bigger, test it again, and it works. The colors here get really dark, like this piece here gets really dark when you drive the truck across. That's a piece I don't want to mess with anymore. So if you see pieces that get this dark, either blue or red, that means we don't want to make them any smaller. So we have a whole bunch of pieces here that are still light color that we could still make smaller. So I'm going to pick the same pieces on either side because this bridge looks the same on both sides. I want to make both of these the same size. So I can pick these two were light color. I'm going to make those a couple sizes smaller, and I'll test it. I'll look at those pieces I just changed, and they still can probably go a little smaller. So basically for this first bridge, all you're doing is going back and forth between testing the bridge and making the pieces smaller, seeing which ones need to be changed until we get down to the price that we need. Once you get your price that you need, then we'll want to make sure that you save your project, and you should be saving your project as you go through and you're making changes. So once you get something that works and your bridge is stable, you're starting to get the price down, save it, because you never know when the program might fail, something might go wrong. So you want to make sure that you're always saving, because if something happens, we won't be able to get your project back. If you do something bad where you delete something and there's no way of going back, then you want to make sure you have something saved. So don't wait till you have the price down to get your A or B. You want to make sure that you have it saved beforehand. If you have any questions on this particular bridge, please ask your instructor.